All right, if you're gearing up for your PCI Level 1 or 2 certification, you have come to exactly the right place. In this explainer, we're doing a deep dive, a focused study guide on a really crucial topic, curing by moisture retention without supplemental heat. We're pulling it all straight from section 4.11 of the manual. Okay, let's get right into it. The whole point here is to take that official standard and just break it down into clear, memorable points that you can take with you right into your exam. We're going to cover the core principles, the approved methods, and maybe most importantly, the critical watch-outs that you absolutely have to know. First things first, we've got to understand the fundamental goal. Why do all these specific rules and procedures even exist? Well, it all boils down to two simple things: strength and moisture. This one sentence, right here from section 4.11.1, it is the key to everything. Seriously, if you remember nothing else from this explainer, remember this. Every other rule we're about to cover just exists to serve this one primary goal, protecting that concrete until it's strong enough for whatever comes next. So how do we actually do that? How do we achieve that goal? Well, the standard gives us two main paths to follow. You can think of these as your two high-level choices when you're out there on the plant floor. So here's how those two paths break down. On the left, with forms on, the side forms are still in place, right? So they're doing most of the work for you, and you only really have to worry about curing the top surfaces. But over on the right, with forms off, well, that's the big difference. Now, all exposed surfaces need your attention. It's a simple distinction, but believe me, it is a critical one for your exam. Now, the interesting thing is, it doesn't matter if your forms are on or off. The actual techniques you use to keep those exposed surfaces moist are the same. We're talking about fogging, spraying, covering with wet mats, using an impermeable cover like plastic sheeting, or applying a membrane curing compound. You definitely need to know this list for the test. All right, let's zoom in a little and take a closer look at one of those techniques. We're going to do a quick deep dive on moisture retention enclosures, which is really just a fancy way of saying using stuff like tarps or plastic sheeting to trap all that humidity. For your exam, I want you to think of this as a 3-point quality control checklist. First, there absolutely must be visible free water on the concrete surfaces at all times. That is non-negotiable. Second, the cover itself has to be tough and securely fastened. We can't have it flapping in the wind. And third, it stays on until the entire curing cycle is totally complete. You've got to memorize these three rules. Okay, now for our second deep dive, membrane curing compounds. This is a chemical that you apply and it forms a film to trap moisture. And look, it's super effective. But, and this is a big but, it comes with a very strict set of rules and some really serious warnings. This is prime material for those tricky test questions. The application process here has to be precise. Let's walk through it. Step 1. Timing is everything. You have to apply it right after the bleed water sheen is gone, but before the surface actually dries out. Step 2. Follow the manufacturer's recommended coverage rate. Don't guess. Step 3. You need a uniform, unbroken film over the entire surface. And step 4. Just like with the enclosures, it stays on until curing is all done. Okay, I need you to pay very close attention here. This last section is, you could argue, the most critical part for your certification. It's not just about knowing how to use these compounds, but when you should not use them. Understanding these compatibility issues can prevent some major product failures down the line. Here is the single most important warning, and it's pulled directly from the source. I'm just going to read it. Some curing compounds act as bond breakers and may interfere with adhesion of repairs or surface coverings. So what does that really mean? The crucial point is that the very same stuff that helps you cure the concrete might turn around and prevent other things from sticking to it later. This table basically breaks down all the consequences. Use it as your study guide. If a surface is eventually going to get joint sealants, you risk bond failure. If it's going to be painted or get some kind of coating, you risk adhesion failure. And on an aesthetically critical product, like an architectural panel, you could cause staining or discoloration. Knowing these incompatibilities is absolutely key for those application-based questions you're going to see on the exam. So we'll end on this question, just to really make this information stick. Based on everything we've just covered, what future construction stages must you consider before you even think about picking up a can of curing compound? The answer isn't just about curing today's concrete. It's about making sure the entire finished product is a success. That's the kind of thinking that's going to help you ace your exam and really excel in your career. Good luck with your studies.